All right, back to Sanford this year. The and one gives them the lead. Down low, drive to go, and then that three, as you just saw. No, and that is a huge win for the Warriors, who saw the lead get away late, but fight back to win and remain a half game ahead of the Grizzlies for the 8th spot in the Western Conference standings. At 7-8, you got two chances essentially to win. 9-10 winner plays the loser of 7-8. Golden State's got a 78% chance to earn the 7 or the 8 and avoid that 10-9 game. Trailblazers are going to finish off the Rockets here and move within a game of the Mavericks for 5th.
Steph Curry with the shot. Can we talk about it? On Saturday, Steph Curry dropped 49 points in 29 minutes in a 136-97 win over the Oklahoma City Thunder. Here's what his coach, Steve Kerr, had to say about Steph for MVP in his postgame presser. Listen up.
Definitely the MVP in my book, and we'll see what happens. I think these last few weeks have to have at least vaulted him up in the order, but we'll see if he can climb to first or not. It'd be great to see it happen.
And Perk is back. According to Caesar Sportsbook, both the Joker and Embiid have better odds than Steph to be named this season's MVP, and they're both ahead of AD as best big man, according to Max Kellerman earlier in the show.
Didn't say that, but nice try. Go ahead.
Oh, I thought
I just said we don't know.
Oh.
We don't know if AD is still the best.
Oh, got it. But those were the two guys you thought that were ahead, right?
Those are the two guys he has to prove it against.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're ahead of him. He just has to prove it.
Oh, got it. I wasn't trying to misquote you. We'll stay focused. Max, is Steph a top 3 MVP candidate?
Yes, absolutely he is. He has played himself there. Now, look, a lot of this season, early on, I was saying it's Embiid. It's Embiid. He's better than everybody. LeBron was playing real. Embiid is the MVP. He missed too many games, guys. When he missed a couple, he was 4 or 5 games behind us, 6, 7 games. They're still in first. If you're playing 20 games fewer than another dude, or 15, 20 games, don't tell me that you're that much better that you're the MVP. So even if it's game for game, it's not Embiid. Game for game, you could argue Harden, too. The level he was playing at with the Nets. Come on, he's missed most of the season at this point, right? So we really got to deal with guys who've been there. If we're talking about the regular season MVP, Jokic is the clear-cut choice. Jokic is the MVP. He's not the best player game for game. He's close enough, and he hasn't missed games. Steph Curry at this point is probably second. Like, the boring answer is also that Giannis is doing what he always does. It was good enough to win 2 consecutive MVP awards. He should be in the top 3, but they ain't going to give it to Giannis. It's Giannis fatigue. Even I have it, right? Steph is doing more or less what he did his MVP season when they won 73 games and he set the world on fire. He's doing that again. Other than Jokic, no one has been better and more present. If you look at this roster for the Warriors, guys, I did not think they were going to be good. I didn't think they had enough shooting. You have the greatest shooter of all time and no other shooters on the team. They're better than 500 in a very tough conference because they have a top 3 MVP. His name is Steph Curry. Lillard has tailed off a little bit. He's carried a big load so far. Steph is top 3.
Well, Max, I respectfully disagree, and here's why. I'm not taking anything from Steph. Steph has been must-see TV. He has been on another level. But here's the problem I have when it comes down to the MVP conversation, okay? The goalpost continues to move, all right? And when we talk about the MVP, we talk about where's your team right now? Like, we're looking at the top-ranking teams, the 1, the 2, the 3 seed in each conference, the best team in the NBA, et cetera, et cetera. The Warriors are sitting at number 8. Okay, and I get it, right? They don't. Everyone in the world says, including myself, he don't have the great supporting cast, and I get that part. But they're still sitting at the 8th seed, Max. They're only 2 games above 500. There's no way he could be a top 3 MVP candidate. I have him as a top 5. I strongly believe he should be in the conversation, but he's not ahead of Jokic. He's not ahead of Embiid. He's not ahead of Giannis, and he's not ahead of CP3. Chris Paul, man, I'm just like, it's mind-boggling to me that we just don't respect what CP3 brings to the game, okay? And we go back to when he won it, I think in 2005 or 2006, when Kobe Bryant was averaging 35 points playing with Kwame Brown and a whole lot of others and carrying that team and had them really a little bit above. I think they might have been the 8th seed at the time. It's the same scenario. Steve Nash won. His numbers were not better, but his impact on the team and what his team was at the time, they were one of the best teams in the league, is why he won the MVP. Now, I will say this, Steph Curry is up there as the MVP, one of the most dominant players in the game today. Yes, he's top 3 at that category, but I can't give him top 3 MVP, Max, just because they're sitting at the 8th spot.
Yeah, Perk, I'm with you on both points you made as far as Chris Paul not getting more conversation for MVP and, of course, winning having to factor into the conversation when we start talking about the most valuable player award. I mean, you can talk about Steph Curry being able to be one of those guys that has a chance to lead the league in scoring, one of the oldest players to lead the league in scoring since Michael Jordan last did it. But you got to also look at what Joel Embiid is doing and what Jokic is doing. Embiid, I understand he missed the 19 games, but he's 3rd in points per game. He's 2nd in usage percentage, and he's top 5 in defensive rating. And oh, by the way, his team is in the tops in his conference. You got to give respect to that, even if it's the Eastern Conference, which is the weaker of the 2 conferences. As far as Jokic goes, I mean, you're seeing what he's doing even without Jamal Murray. His team is 6-3, and they're going to finish with a top 4 seed in the Western Conference. He's leading them in points, rebounds, and assists. So I think you have to give respect to what both of those guys are doing. I think Steph Curry is a top 5, top 6 guy in the MVP conversation. I think Lillard is in there, Giannis is in there, and Luke is in there. I don't know what order those guys would be in. Steph is in that mix. But I can't give Steph the nod over Joel Embiid and Jokic. I just can't.
Look, well, Joel Embiid's just missed a bunch of games. That's the only reason I have him there. But let me just say something about this most valuable player. First of all, Perk, because they made a mistake giving Nash the MVP way back when, they should do it again? No, I'm sorry. They got it wrong back then. But it's okay to say they got it wrong, and we evolve. We don't have to get it wrong again. Chris Paul's having a fantastic year. If Steph was on that team, they'd be even better. I don't think Chris Paul could do with the Warriors what Steph's doing. And here's the big misconception about, well, if you're the MVP, you have to win.
Yep.
Most valuable and best are synonyms. I don't care what anyone says. It's just be rational about this. Most valuable, best, the guy who contributes the most to winning. Now, if your teammates aren't good enough, right? You may not win enough. That doesn't mean that you didn't contribute the most toward a win. You just didn't get all the way there because your teammates weren't good enough. There's already an award for having the best teammates. It's calling being, number 1 seed, number 2 seed, making a playoff run. That's the award. We're trying to say who's the most valuable.
Yeah, but in reality, it's not going to happen because of their record. All right, we'll leave it there. Russell Westbrook with the